And now we got Bobby Sin with us. He's got this nice little studio set up. How you doing, Bobby?
Doing pretty good. Doing things a little bit differently today. Going up to my former school, that is the Ohio Media School in Columbus, Ohio. You can find them at Beyond Air Networks or just ohiomediaschool.com. They have one in Cincinnati and Cleveland. Uh-oh.
Everything okay?
And everything froze on my end.
Well, I can still hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, there we are.
Okay.
Yep, there we are.
Okay, we're still good then.
But yes, doing things a little differently today, but here, ready to talk about stuff?
Yes. Well, it looks great on your end. Sounds great on your end. So, yeah, I think we're good. Before we dive into Dune 1984, something I was going to talk to you about is, like, what were your thoughts going into Dune? Kind of doing this Dune episode.
Well, my first thoughts were like kind of wondering what it was about the series that never really drew me to it, because I'll admit, I never watched it, never really sought it out science fiction wise.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess a lot of it just seemed like it had way more hype, and it, especially watching the first film, I felt like, wow, I really felt like I should have read the book to understand what the hell is going on. And I remember, like, at the time, early when I was getting into science fiction, like in my teens, maybe, it just, to me, kind of maybe just seemed like way too much work to do just to enjoy a science fiction movie.
Yeah.
So I passed. But the overall lore and, like, getting into it and, like, kind of reading about it before watching the movies, I dig the story. It's interesting, definitely. I don't think it necessarily needs to be played out page by page to the film, but
that's the thing. Neither version actually does that, but it gets weird. We'll get into it when we get into the movies, but yeah,
it felt like the '84 version did.
Oh god, it feels like it's not. The book actually flows a hell of a lot smoother. That being said, it's a lot longer. We'll get into that, but yeah, I would say my biggest issue, like, it was one of those books on my to read list that I never read.
Okay.
And then I only just recently decided to listen to it. Not that I listen to books at work. But yeah. But anyways, listening to it, it's good. A big complaint I would actually throw at it, though, and I hate to do it because it was like way before like we had all this critiquing stuff really finalized, is that, man, there is lots of exposition. There's lots of setting up stuff. Kind of a rule of narratives, and it gets tricky especially when we're doing sci-fi, and the first entry in a sci-fi story is that you want to only have one unbelievable thing, one crazy thing thrown there. And the problem with Dune is that there's like at least 5 to 10.
Yeah, there is quite a few of them.
Yes, I feel like like the book handles it as well as possible. Movie, not so much. Yeah, let's go ahead and roll right into 1984 here. And one thing I dug up, like, I forgot this poster. And I, like, when you have a movie poster and half of it is fucking text, that's not a good sign.
Good God, look at that.
It's like, what are you doing?
Wow.
We think half the book should be the tagline for this movie.
Sometimes simplicity is just so much better.
Yes.
Like, trying to think of what a perfect example of The Exorcist.
Yeah.
That's a perfect simplistic movie poster.
Oh, yeah. Well,
just...
I feel like this movie poster, in a lot of ways, it reflects the movie behind it kind of honestly, though. Because all that heavy exposition in the book, like, yeah, it's heavy in the book, but it has time to grow. And here, they are just pounding you with it relentlessly.
Well, I also feel like there should maybe be, like, a couple of sentences, maybe a paragraph in parentheses to represent the internal monologue going on, because that film also had quite a bit of that.
I definitely want to bring that up. That internal monologue device is one of the worst ideas I think internal monologue in film, you want it to be, like, simple. Like, maybe one character has it, or maybe two if you want to have two lead characters.
Yeah.
Like, every fucking scene felt like it had one line from every character that's internal monologue.
And sometimes it felt like it had lines that really shouldn't have been internal monologue, or at least audible. Like, where am I? Obviously.
I mean, it
man. Yeah.
almost screams that like David Lynch didn't trust his actors to get some stuff across too, because it's like, it would be as basic as a character has a confused look and then internal monologue. I'm confused. No shit.
I think the first note that I took for this movie was a quote from the movie. It was, "Are you ready for your water to sit with my water?" I think I might have paraphrased that one. And then, this fucking movie is weird.
Oh God. Oh fuck yeah. I mean,
I wasn't even 10 minutes into it.
It's definitely a David Lynch project.
It really is, and I don't know. I just didn't get the joy I did with like Eraserhead.
Oh yeah, well, Dune, I almost feel isn't a project for David Lynch like at all. I heard, I didn't see this confirmed, but I saw a rumor that he essentially did this because the studio wanted a movie version of Dune with Star Wars, and he was doing this so they would fund his next movie, which I believe was like Blue Velvet or something like that.
Christ, why didn't they just give it to Cronenberg?
I know. I know there are there are directors that can do like weird creative stuff and still like follow like. The problem with Lynch is that, I swear, I don't want to say he doesn't like narratives, but I almost feel like sometimes he doesn't. Because he'll just do the weird shit sometimes.
Well, I mean, visually, this movie was stunning.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The practical effects were great.
The set design, holy shit on this
movie. Jesus. Personally, I love it when I could watch a movie and just kind of have a moment of realization going, holy crap, that's a set.
Yeah.
That is a set. That is amazing.
Yeah.
And these set pieces were phenomenal, just breathtaking at moments. But just, I feel that the internal monologuing, really took away so much of that movie, and which is probably why so many people find it boring.
Oh yeah. Well, it's something I wanted to bring up because when I first watched this, I was so bored. But I'm not sure because I remember this movie being longer than 2 hours and 15 minutes. And I thought maybe it was just like I felt like it was longer, but
it did. It does feel like it's longer.
Yeah, but there's also a 3-hour cut, and it's the cut that David Lynch has disavowed. That one is technically directed by Alan Smithy. It was made for TV and had like expanded parts. And I also have to wonder maybe that was the version I originally watched.
So kind of like Halloween for television, how it fell short. As we talked last week, how like the original version of it, fully unedited for television, falls short, so they added additional footage that Carpenter shot. Okay.
Except the additional footage there was actually kind of cool if you ever watched through it all. It's not necessary at all for the story, but it's kind of cool.
Okay.
But yeah, if that was it, that is so much more boring. I kind of get it. This one has a pace that's almost breakneck, and it still is kind of boring for its breakneck pace. Kyle MacLachlan is an actor I usually like, but he's... You see, I think he's fine, but he is...
I can't remember what it was, but there's some movie I saw him in like a long time ago where I've just hated him ever since.
Really?
I can't remember the film, but I remember instantly, and I think that also has a lot to do with why I never watched Dune, because I knew I'd have to put up with him through the whole movie, and it's just kind of more of like, fuck this guy.
Well... I guess to his defense, Dune is his first movie, but God, he is so dry. And
it had to have been a movie where he played a bad guy. It had to have been, and he was just that effective. Or it was a movie that I had to watch a lot when I was a kid, and I didn't care for it. So naturally, I grew resentment towards that actor.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one thing I do want to say is, we were talking about a little bit before we went live. There are actually great actors in this. Not always delivering great jobs, but there's like two we definitely need to point out.
Yes. First off is Professor Jean-Luc Picard X.
Yes.
Who carried a dog into battle.
Yes, Patrick Stewart was the dog was a weird element too. But anyways, the Patrick Stewart's awesome in this because he's Patrick Stewart. I don't think he would know how to give a bad performance at any point in his career.
I think if he tried to go for a bad performance, he would still get an Oscar.
Yes, he just has a gravitas to him that just, I swear to God, it's fucking natural. It's
and speaking of gravitas, Brad Dourif is also in this too, who
Yes.
is most famous for playing the voice of Chucky, and I will fight you on that one. But yeah, he's in there. He gives another amazing performance, and it's kind of he's an interesting actor to me because like he is very versatile in his craft. Like he could literally play anything, and I've seen him in a chameleon of different roles.
Mm-hmm.
I just particularly like the scary and the terror stuff, so that's kind of where I'm most familiar with him as, of course, the voice of Chucky. He also played the Gemini Killer in the third Exorcist film. He was also Smeagol in human form, right?
What? No, I don't think so. No, he was Wormtongue.
That's right.
I think in Two Towers. Is he a little bit in Return of the King? Maybe.
Yeah, that's right. He was. Yeah.
And probably, strangely enough, probably his lesser known roles. But I probably know him best Lord of the Rings. But probably after that would probably be Star Trek Voyager, where he plays a Maquis crew member who is homicidal and has probably one of the best redemption arcs in Star Trek history. It's kind of awesome.
Okay. You say it's a next gen episode?
No, it's a Star Trek Voyager. It's actually
Voyager.
He's in a multi-episode arc. I want to say he's probably in at least it's at least 2 or 3 episodes.
Okay.
I want to say spread throughout the season 2 and 3, but he's excellent in that. Here, he's doing weird stuff here. Probably the most noteworthy is he's doing like weird stuff with his hands. It's memorable. It's quirky. I honestly think what we're seeing is the director really didn't. I don't know if David Lynch was really caring, and it was just like do something weird. And Brad Dourif was like, "Oh, I can fucking do that."
Oh yeah, sure, I could do that.
Weird shit, yeah. I am on board. Yeah, he was definitely a highlight. I think the villains actually here, they're really able to chew the scenery. There's pluses and minuses to it, but they are definitely giving the most colorful performances.
I could say that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, the bad guys were way over camped in this.
Oh god.
Even watching the new one, I kind of forgot how campy the first one was.
Yeah.
I mean, as campy as he was, man, he should really avoid them greasy foods. He needed some sort of Noxzema treatment.
Oh god, yeah. Bad.
Yesterday.
That was
again. Practical effects looked great.
That was also totally a David Lynch addition to the character.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah,
I figured.
This weird, gross
very
shit.
Lynchian.
Yes.
Those pop marks.
I mean, I even felt like Sting got a chance, especially in the end, to choose some scenery of all the actors in this movie.
Yeah, Sting was kind of the surprise.
Yeah. In between his time with the Police and his first solo album, he did this, where he wore a plastic Speedo for what might be the most memorable moment in the movie.
Yeah, and you know, this is before Sting only started exclusively singing in syllables.
Yeah, exactly. But that is definitely a moment that comes out of fucking nowhere. Like,
yeah,
they're just talking, just out of this smoke cloud here, Sting in a fucking plastic bikini, and you're like, oh, okay. That happened.
When I was watching this, I immediately just started going, "Desert Rain."
Yes. Oh boy.
Oh man, yeah. This movie, yeah, it did seem like a little drawn out to me.
Mm-hmm.
And and I knew it always had that reputation.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, after watching it, you know, I don't regret watching it at all.
No,
I thought it was great. Like, and even as we talked, like the small actors that are in this, well, not the small, but the bit players that were in this that were amazing. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, like Patrick Stewart and Brad Dourif. Like, Brad Dourif was always great. Like, I was just fixated on him whenever he was on screen because he steals the scene, even if he's intending to or not. I always feel he does that. He does that in The Exorcist 3 phenomenally. Mm-hmm. Check that out if you haven't.
I have not. I've seen the first one, I think, only.
Yeah, you need to see the first and the third. You don't need to watch the second.
Oh, okay.
No, makes no sense. I mean, it'd be great for appreciating great trash, but it's not great trash.
No,
it's bad.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
one thing that I found super distracting is I like watching Paul and his mom walking around. They look the same fucking age. Like
they do. They literally
legit.
do. That was like kind of like, oh, so that's his mama?
Yeah. Now,
so this species doesn't age past 28.
Well, that's the thing. She was actually 39 when she did that movie.
Yeah.
She doesn't look it.
She looked great for her age. Yeah, she looked great
and
for her
Kyle
age.
MacLachlan was 25. He looked 30.
Yeah, he looked old.
It's one of those things where, yeah, the age gap is kind of small. Although we'll get to it. It was actually smaller in the new one. But, yeah, they look the same fucking age. Yeah, and the new one doesn't have that issue at all, strangely enough.
Well, no, because the kid who plays the prince, he actually looks like a fucking kid.
Yes, he does. And yeah, one thing that I brought about before you joined was Kyle MacLachlan was essentially joined, and that was kind of one of Herbert's things I wanted in there. He wanted someone that people have never seen before. I think they could have done better. I don't want to I'm more favorable to Kyle MacLachlan than you are, obviously, but he's not bringing an A game here.
I don't know what it is. I don't know where it is. I've seen him or what movie it was that I just decided to hate him.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could remember. I wish I would have thought to do some digging on that.
Mm-hmm. It happens, but I do want to bring up an actor who's a great actor who is so fucking half-assing this. And he's been known to do this. I've seen him do this numerous times. Dean Stockwell. Holy crap, he is half-assing this shit.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy he was in it, but then again, when I saw it, I was like, this guy always plays a traitorous asshole.
Yes, he does.
Like, my first thought is that this guy's a traitorous asshole.
And it's also one of those things where, like, half the time you can tell he's having fun, he's into it, and half the time he does not give a shit. And this is so much I don't give a shit.
Once he betrays the royalty is when he is phoning it in, I felt.
Yeah. Well, that zoom in on him when he's talking about the tooth. Fuck. Like, a little bit if you don't know the story, which you probably should. You should watch the new one, definitely. We'll get to it, though. But, yeah, the Emperor's betrayed by the doctor, who's Dean Stockwell in this one, and he's replaced with a poisoned tooth. And the movie does this close-up on his mouth. I swear, he says the tooth 3 or 4 times. The tooth. The tooth. It's like, holy fuck, we get it, dude.
For real. I also didn't notice this. I guess I never realized this reference until I watched it. But you remember the South Park episode about cat pee?
No. Of course, I haven't seen a whole lot recent.
Oh yeah. Well, there was one where like they're having an anti-drug talk in class, and then like Mr. Mackey tells the boys that they can get really high off male cat piss, so they devise this cat piss apparatus. That's pretty much like that trap that cat was in. And they put like a little projector up of a male cat, and the cat like sprays off that defensive spray, that male cat spray. And that is the spray that apparently would get you very high in that universe. But anyways, they had some sort of cat milker thing that later in the movie near the end, right before the big battle or the finale of the movie, and I saw it, was like, oh, they got their cat pee apparatus thing.
Of course.
and I just kept feeling bad for that cat because it did not want to be in that thing at all. No. It was having no part of that.
So it's kind of like the dog in this movie, strangely enough.
yeah. I mean, I just kind of kept watching it, just kind of like, man, that cat is just too distracting. It's taken away from the scene.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Dune 1984. It's an experience. It is very clunky. It's not a bad movie, but it's definitely not a good movie. It is one of those things where some things are brilliant and some things are just no.
It's kind of like Splitstream in a way.
Yeah. There's
a lot of potential there.
Yeah.
It's just not well executed or thought out.
Almost the inverse. Slipstream has, this movie has great actors in the villain. All the actors in Slipstream are really pretty fucking solid. But yeah, that production design is nowhere.
Well, no, the production design is crap in split
Yeah.
screen, but I mean, there's like 2 great actors
Yeah.
in that carry that whole cast.
Yeah.
One who didn't even seem like he realized he was doing it. He was just being Bill.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to sleep with
Yes.
everything.
But those are also, well, especially Bill Paxton. He was the lead in that. Kyle MacLachlan's our anchor here. And yeah, nope.
And I mean, like, the brooding face that they kept showing to him, which was either him brooding or thinking or constipated.
Yeah, it could have been constipated.
It could have been anything. I mean, those suits didn't exactly look comfortable.
No.
But like like I said, there was a lot of stuff where I felt like I really should have read the book prior, and like the stuff is like how those people can sense those things about him and the character, and it's just kind of more like, okay, you're gonna tell the audience what the hell is going on, because to us they're just staring at each other. And it's like, oh, are they in on a secret that we're not? I'm confused.
Yeah, it was something I wasn't sure, because I think I had largely finished, or I actually listened to most of the book by the time I rewatched this. So a lot of that stuff, like, I kind of just knew, more or less.
But yeah, I got that kind of completely blind going into it. So it's just kind of more of, I'm thinking of it in the aspect of, if you're introducing this to an audience in theaters, you're going to guarantee about 25 to 30% of your ticket sales are going to come from fans of the series.
Mm-hmm.
The other 70 will definitely be guaranteed your average popcorn audience.
Yeah, just people who were like, hey, Star Wars is great, let's see another one.
Yeah, let's see a science fiction thing.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And about 25 of them will probably get what you're talking about of that 70%.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about it like that, and it's just kind of more of like, I have no idea what the fuck is going on, but I'd like to.
Yeah.
I like the themes talking. I just some fucking explanation. They need to make movies with like the pop-up video option.
Yeah. Well, another thing I definitely want to bring up, it was something that happened super early. The special effects for the shield generator. Oh, yeah. That is so bad.
Oh, you mean the body shield?
Yes. What was it? Yeah,
that was great.
My family brought up it's the Minecraft shield.
That was awesome.
Oh, I would say it's.
I actually think it looked better. I think it looked better in this than the remake.
Really, the remake was a lot more what I visualized with the book, because the book.
Well,
I visualized something you largely don't see until it's actually active.
Well, yes, but when they were describing what it was in the original, what it was in the remake is how I pictured it. But visually, that was better than that.
Yeah, big blocky guys. I like to see blocks fighting each other.
It brought me back to the good old NES days, man.
I don't know. For me, I'm just thinking, man, this could be amazing choreography between these two. Good luck noticing.
Yeah. I mean, it did look like it was better choreography.
But
well, with the remake, I felt there was a lot of things that it did better.
Really?
Than the original. Well, yeah. Well, the Death Needle scene, that little assassin probe, because that just looked like someone was legit flying a fucking drone.
Well, do we want to move on to the remake? Is there anything you want to add about 1984?
All that leather.
Yeah.
No. I kind of felt like Michael Jackson. This poster also makes me feel like a Michael Jackson dance number is about to break out.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. I don't know what song, but I just know it's going to be a barn burner.